Some interesting announcements that I suppose have taken a bit of a backseat from last week's RBI meeting. Firstly, announcement on One Nation, One Ombudsman. Secondly, a 24/7 helpline for those customers using digital payments. And thirdly, outsourcing for operators that will be well equipped and secure to handle financial transactions. All of them with one aim: to ensure safety and better redressal of complaints for customers like you and me. So let's now introduce on the show Mandar Agashe, founder and MD of Sarvatra Technologies, to make sense of all of this. Mandar, thanks so much for joining in. Let's first understand your view of all the RBI announcements that have come out so far.
So basically, I think there are three things that RBI announced. One was One Nation, One Ombudsman, which is very good because then you have one place to register all your complaints or interact with the government or RBI. Second was a 24/7 helpline, which is made compulsory for all payment operators. So right now, each payment operator or an PSP app or other players have different kind of ways of interacting with customers. Some have via email, some may have a helpline which is for a few hours, but now it's compulsory 24/7. And the third thing, of course, was the when payment operators outsource it to third party, any of their function, how to do that, RBI is going to come out with a draft policy of how that is done. All these three things would, on one side, bring in huge efficiency on how the payments in India work. And also, this probably was a long-standing demand of most customers who are now using digital payments it's like a daily thing now. It's no longer optional to have some way of contacting through which the company through which they have done the payment. Earlier, it was easy. You were always using a product of the bank, and any problem you went to the bank. Now, with so many interoperable systems across India, it is important to have a 24/7 support. I think these things will really bring India to a different level in terms of payment efficiency and prove to be a game changer in the long run.
All right. Mandar, let's understand then from you that ombudsman topic. It's very interesting. One Nation, One Ombudsman. Firstly, for the benefit of all our viewers, many of them may not even be aware of this service. Who should approach an ombudsman?
So it is not just fraud. It could also be a wrong payment. It could be so many things. So first, you will have a 24/7 support from the payment operator who you have used. And in case there is a problem, you go directly to one central ombudsman. So instead of running around different departments in case there is a fraud or in case there is a wrong payment and there's no support coming in from your regular bank channels, then where do you go? So earlier it was all probably different departments. Now it is one single department. So it is going to bring efficiency for everyone, even consumers or even other players. It could also be merchants. It's not just the end consumer. The merchant may not receive the payment and he does not know where to go, Many merchants are scared of using digital payments because they don't know if they don't get the payment, what do they do next?
Okay, understood. Mandar, now let's understand on the whole bit on interoperability. What will be the benefits of that? When can we expect the framework? How will it benefit customers?
So your typical thing, when you suppose pay for something, when you pay with if you go to an ATM example and withdraw cash and cash does not come out, there's a clear path of what do you do, where you complain, what you do. But when you do digital payment, and if there is some wrong transaction that happens intently or unintentionally, then what do you do? This is where there is a process being laid down by RBI. When this whole thing comes into practice, live thing, this announcement, your customer will have a clear thing to do. Example, you can first go to your bank or then you can call the 24/7 helpline of the payment operator. If not, you can complain to one single department in RBI, and that single department will take care of whatever the interoperable systems are behind that payment. So it could be your customer of one bank, but you're using an app of a third bank and paying a fourth bank. Today, because of the interoperability, it's so complex. So you don't know exactly which bank to go to or who to complain. That all goes away with one single point of contact.
Understood. Mandar, when can we expect the unification for the ombudsman as well? Is there any timeline given? And again, benefit for customers?
No, it's mainly meant for payment operators. No? So I don't know whether it will include NBFC or not. That doesn't clearly state that, or I haven't read it. But I think it mainly this all announcement are for payment operators. So banks and NBFCs already have clear things, but it was not there for payment operators. So these announcements are purely focused at payment operators.
So, my point is that if we are going to see this one nation, one ombudsman, then we should see, right, that a bank, NBFC, whatever it is, have just this one grievance cell that customers can approach. Wouldn't it work that way?
The NBFC is using a particular payment operator. If there is some finance NBFC who is doing, retail payments where they are giving lending as option at the point of retail, or some payment system they have to be should be using, then this will come under that. So it doesn't matter who is using. So today, if you see, it's not just the banks who are operating, it is the NBFCs. There are payment operators like business correspondents. There are third-party PSP apps like Google Pays of the world and WhatsApp Pays. And there are various different micro ATM providers. There are PACs or the agricultural credit societies which are giving some terminal, Aadhaar-enabled payment terminal, or there's so many different instruments in so many different channels. Then there are IMPS portals to transfer money. Then there is a whole, besides UPI, there are other real-time payments which are there. So all these different payment systems will have one single point of.
All right, Mandar, thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now. But with that, we're completely out of time, so we'll wrap it up.